Hey everyone, this is Luke Johnson for Know Your Poker, and today I'm going to show you how to overbet in position in single race pots. Hope you enjoy. Before we dive into exactly what boards to overbet, let's quickly do a positional rundown. So here's the aggregations for in position single race pots. Let's pay attention to the yellow boxes here. Here are your betting weight distributions. Now, if you pay attention to the late position, which is your cutoff and button versus the big blind, you'll see that the B70, B125 make up about 40% of your big sizing. However, the early position, the middle position, and under the gun make up only 33, and pay particular attention to the overbets. Early position only does it about 12% of the volume, whereas late position is almost double at 23%. So that means that from the button and cutoff, we're going to play many more overbets versus the big blind. Moving into the boards, there are three main board types to pay attention to. The first one is your double high card with one disconnected third card. So let's plug that in. Let's make the board ace and king high, second card king, queen, jack, third card 4, 3, deuce. So we've got 324 boards here, and here are your breakdowns. You can see the first place sizing is 125% and 70% is joint second place here. So between the 2/3 and the overbet, they are making up 62% of your betting volume. However, within this filter, there are still some boards that want to size down. In fact, if I click this button here, you're going to get some boards that want to size down and bet their entire range. And that's because we've not filtered down the situation enough. So how do I know exactly which boards to overbet? On screen, you'll see a graphic which will give you the heuristics on how to overbet. The first change is to make this late position. That's not to say you cannot overbet from early position. In fact, if I do click EP and click this, you can see there's many boards that exclusively want to overbet. However, for the sake of the demonstration, you're going to get more overbets from late position. So make it late position, make it suited, unpaired, and high boards only. So let's take out the king high and make it only ace high. Now you can see 75% of your volume is going into an overbet. And if I remove the queen and the jack, so now the board has to be ace, king, X, suited, 90%, let's just say 100% of your betting volume now is going into an overbet. The reason why is that on these textures, if you're betting an ace or a king, there are no overcards to scare your hand. So that means that all of your king X and all of your marginal ace X can just check. And then the remaining hands, which are very strong now, something like ace 10 plus, can go into a very large sizing. Moving into the second board category, you may notice it's actually not too dissimilar from the first category. Before we start plugging in the boards, just pay attention to the check frequency from the first category at 55%. It's important to pay attention to this and compare it to the second category. Okay, so the main difference between the two is your low cards. Remove the deuce, 3, and 4, your low disconnected cards, and make it more connected. 7, 8, 9, 10. And we can also plug in some other cards. Let's make it king, queen, jack. Actually remove the jack, queen, jack, 10, 9. And make there be no straights available. So what this means is you're not looking at a board like king jack 9 where there's already a flop straight to queen 10. Instead, a board like king jack 8, there's lots and lots of straight draws but no flop straights. So within the filter here, we're catching 150 boards, and you can see that overbet is still very clearly first place, making up half of your betting volume. And between B70 and overbets, when you want to size up, that makes up 75% of your betting volume. So across all these textures, you can see still sizing up is going to be a good idea. However, your check frequency has reduced from 55% to 38%. The reason is because these boards are now a lot more connected. So what does that mean practically? Essentially, it means that you don't want to give a free card as often. Going back to the first category, if you've got a board like ace, king, deuce, you don't mind giving a free card with a hand like ace, 8 because there's not many bad turns that can hurt your hand. On these boards, though, there are a lot more straight turns that can really hurt your hand. So essentially, you want to rush the money in while the situation is still good for you and bloat the pot before it can potentially come bad. If it doesn't run out bad, then great, you put a lot of money in, you can continue doing that. If it does get bad for you, hey, at least you put the money in whilst you're ahead. Another reason is that frankly, the board is much higher now. Across 150 boards, the lowest card you'll ever see is a 7. So especially from late position, if you play heads up as well, you're going to have far more sets, far more 2 pairs, far more top pair with top kicker, and far more combo draws. In fact, if you pay attention to a board like ace, jack, 8, and check out the range explorer, you'll notice if we select the top hand, so let's say set, 2 pair, top pair, and combo draw, out of position has 20% of those hands for 72% equity, whereas in position has 30% for 80% equity. So we've got 50% more hands for 8% more equity. We're just killing them at the top end because the board is high. So from late position, we've got all the high cards and they are struggling as out of position. My last tip for these boards is the wealth of bluffs that you have, which just complement your value. So going back to the ace, jack, 8 there, you're going to have hands like king, spade, 9, queen, spade, 9, queen, spade, 8, king, spade, 7, right? Like they are going to love betting A little bit surprising that King Spade 9 doesn't bet as often. Honestly, I would bet more often than this. However, you do have the King Spade 8, King Spade 7, Queen 8, Jack 8, 10 8, Jack 9, 9 8. These hands just love betting at some frequency with different kinds of draws. The Queen 10 has got double gut shot, the 9 8's got a pair blocker and a backdoor straight draw. So different bluffs, different things you're trying to accomplish, but because you've got so much value, you can really get out of line here. You're also going to have some underpair bluffs, deuces, threes, some random 5-4, believe it or not. That might look like a complete punt, but actually you've got 4 gut shots on the turn, right? 7, 6, 3, and deuce are going to give you future gut shots on the turn to kind of run with. And if you do bet pot, he is going to have to fold second pair, no redraw. So you're getting a lot of equity to fold immediately. Even some pairs, right? Your 8-5, 8-6, 8-7 with backdoor straight draw and backdoor flush draw, like 8-7 here, is a fantastic bluff. You can put a lot of money in with a lot of different hands, but because you've got the top end value range secured, you can really get kind of out of line and bluff a lot here. Okay, the third and final board category. This is going to be completely reversed from the first 2 categories. So far, we're looking at the high boards that are suited. Now we're going to be looking at the low boards that are unsuited. So let's plug that in. So let's make it 9 and below. These are the high cards. Rainbow, unpaired, no straights available. Lots of straight draws, but no straights flopped yet. Across all these boards, 75% of your betting volume wants to overbet, and between the 2/3 and overbet, that becomes now 85%. So let's just say everything wants to size up here. In fact, is there any board that wants to size down? 9-4 deuce has some size downs here, but if we actually plug that in, even 9-4 deuce that wants to size down actually doesn't. It wants to go 2/3 or overbet with 55% of its volume, and that's the first place board. So realistically, there's no boards here that want to size down. The reason is pretty simple. These boards are very low and they're very disconnected, which allows you to bloat the pot with a lot of your hands. In fact, if we just find a random board here, 9-5-4, you'll see that there's going to be a lot of Auburn, or whatever you want to call this color, bet, 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 right? Because these hands are completely asymmetric in your range, and because the board is so innocuous, you can make sure to rush money in while the situation is still good for you. Hey guys, that's going to wrap up the guide for today. Hope you have enjoyed. If you did learn something, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon, it does help me a lot. Lastly, thank you for watching. I will make more of these guys in the future, so do stick around when they're uploaded. It's been myself, Lee Johnson, for Know Your Poker. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye for now.